By now, you've probably seen that UConn lost at Tennessee on Thursday, yesterday. It was the first time UConn had lost to Tennessee since 2007. Consider the fact that in 2007, I was 29. I could actually run a little bit. I could jump a little bit. I could still play sports a little bit. I didn't have kids yet. Never been married. Still lived in Miami. I mean, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? 18 years since Tennessee had beaten UConn until yesterday. And the 19th ranked Vols knocked off UConn to give them their third loss, 80-76. And Paige Bueckers, who has been proclaimed as the second coming of Christ by so many, had an absolutely horrendous game. 5 of 16 for 14 points. Yeah, she had 8 assists, but they need her to score points. And they shot 40.3%. Sarah Strong led UConn with 18 on 8 of 13 from the field. And obviously, Tennessee played well enough to win this game by basically punking them on the glass. And that's how they won the game, even though they committed 19 turnovers to UConn's 12. But it's not about the loss. It's about what Geno said about his star pupil, Paige Bueckers, after the game. And I must confess, I had not seen the post game interview. I saw a graphic earlier today that said he said something, but sometimes people make up fake memes and stuff like that, like make fake graphics. And I said, there's no possible way that Geno Auriemma said this about Paige Bueckers. Lo and behold, we've got the video, and it was actually true. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Coming Out the Podcast, where we talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Shomont, a.k.a. Rudy the Hammer, bringing it to you live and direct, as always. To all my returning guests and followers and loyalists and ranters, I thank you so much. Please be sure to hit the like button. I'm going to keep on saying this. It takes you 1 second to hit the like button. That's all. Leave a comment, but hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button, but hit something. That's all I ask. And of course, the comment's great. Now, if you're new, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I greatly appreciate you. Here is the video from Geno. Geno. Let's listen in on Senor Geno Auriemma.
Bottom line is, we have some players on our team that are supposed to be our best players, and they got to play better. That's all there is to it.
Paige has had trouble getting going, it seems like, in a few of these bigger games now. I mean, just what do you feel like is kind of the block with her in terms of being able to start as hot as she has in Big East play?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a real kind of conundrum. Paige wants the ball in her hands all the time. Then when they trap her, she don't want the ball in her hands. So then we try to get her moving from, one thing to another, moving without the ball, and it's so. So we've got to come to some sort of definitive thing here, how we're going to handle it. But right now, it's not the winning edge for sure. And passing up stuff, like I don't get it.
Woo! Folks, oh my God. Did this man really just say this about his sacred princess? I mean, this is the man that has been telling us for so very long how Paige Bueckers is better than Caitlin Clark. Paige Bueckers is better than Caitlin Clark. This is the young woman that he recruited out of high school, for which he did not recruit Caitlin Clark because of this young woman. And no one by any means is saying that Paige Bueckers isn't a good basketball player. So please, let's stop that right there. We are not saying that. I am not saying that. But this man has gone out of his way to tell us how much better she is than Caitlin Clark. Let me show you something else. Now, this is from the national semifinals last year when Iowa played UConn, and Iowa came away with a 71-69 win over the Huskies in a game in which they lost their minds because of a clear moving screen on Aaliyah Edwards, and people said, "Oh, you can't call that at that moment." Yes, the hell you can. When it's a clear moving screen and it creates an advantage for somebody, yeah, you call it, people. But let's look at this. This is from the New York Post Sports, and they have a little compilation of how UConn defended Caitlin Clark in that game. Now, remember, this is the girl, the woman that you said is not better than Paige Bueckers. Caitlin Clark is right here. Right here. You see her on your screen. Guarding her is Nika Mule, who is guarding her 94 feet. Guarded her the entirety of the court with, in fact, Paige Bueckers waiting at half court to jump trap her. Not for nothing, but if you don't think that this young woman is better than your star, why are you guarding her 94 feet? Because nobody is guarding Paige Bueckers 94 feet without the ball. Nobody. Let's take a quick reminder.
Elite defense so far in this game by Nika Mule. She is
The whole court.
shadowing Caitlin Clark everywhere, whether it's 94 feet from the back.
Look who that is. They're double teaming her without the ball. Double teaming her. They're trapping her without the ball.
Basket or in the front court. They're trying to keep Caitlin out of the middle of the floor where her vision can get open looks for her teammates now there.
Well, who was that again? That was Paige Bueckers that came in the screen right there to help.
That's important. That was Nika Mule's first foul.
Folks. You don't play defense like that on somebody if you don't think they can destroy you by themselves. And Caitlin Clark had a history of destroying people by herself. Now, in this game, she did not destroy UConn by herself. She had an above average game for most women's basketball players. She didn't have a great game. She finished 7 of 18, 3 of 11 from 3, had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Wasn't the easiest game for her, but Hannah Stuelke had a great game with 23 on 9 of 12. And they played 7 players, really 5, with 2 players playing combined 6 minutes. Addison O'Grady only played 2. Kylie Feuerbach played 4. Otherwise, Caitlin Clark played 40. Gabby Marsh played 39. Falter had played 39. Stuelke played 37. And Kate Martin played 36. On the other side, Paige Bueckers played 40. She finished with 17.7 to 17. And I will go into that a little bit here and talk about really what Geno Auriemma said in this video to literally put a real microscope on what the truth truly is. Nika Mule played 39 minutes. Ashlyn Shade played 36. KK Arnold played 35. Remember, this is the same KK Arnold that's not seeing the floor as much this year. Aaliyah Edwards played 33, and Ice Brady came off the bench and played 15. All right. All right. He made a comment where he said he always wants the ball. But when she's double teamed, she doesn't want the ball. 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 She doesn't want the shot. She wants nothing to do with the moment. That's what he is basically getting at. And some people might think, oh, well, he's trying to fire her up. This is embarrassing. This is calling her out publicly. This is showing the world that realistically he doesn't believe in her because she doesn't believe in herself. Paige Bueckers is a good basketball player. She is not an elite basketball player. She is not going to be National Player of the Year. Realistically, she probably shouldn't even be a first team All-American. She'll probably get there based on popularity, not based on earning it, because you know who will probably end up on that list. Lauren Betts, Juju Watkins, naturally for more popularity. You know who should wind up on it? Who probably won't is Tania Latson out of Florida State. Hannah Hidalgo will end up on it. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Flau'jae Johnson might have a shot. Sarah Strong is the best player at UConn. It is not Paige Bueckers. It's just not. And right now, it's like Geno Auriemma is forced to eat crow because he has never won a title with Paige. And Paige, in big moments, disappears. She doesn't want the shot. She doesn't want the ball. And he just told you that. So don't believe me. Believe the guy that's been coaching her for 5 years, who has even suggested that maybe she comes back for a sixth. If you take Paige Bueckers off of last year's Iowa UConn team, and you take Caitlin Clark off of last year's Iowa team, UConn played 6 players. Iowa played 7. Well, really 4 if you take off Caitlin Clark, because they only played 6 minutes. If you take those individual players off of each team, what do you think happens in that game? The 23 points that Hannah Stuelke scored probably mostly came off of Caitlin Clark stuff. The attention that she draws. No one's guarding Paige Bueckers 94 without the ball. No one's even double teaming her 25 feet from the rim with the ball. But they do that on Caitlin all the time. If you were to remove both of those players from those teams last year, UConn would have beaten Iowa by 25. No cap. 25. If you took Caitlin off that team and Paige off her team, UConn beats that Iowa team by 25. It's the truth. Everything ran through Caitlin Clark. That's not what happens with Paige Bueckers. That's not what happens at UConn. And it's not even what happens right now at UConn. Geno Auriemma's legacy is taking a massive hit because Paige Bueckers is a choke artist. She's scared of the moment. Yeah, I called her. She's a choke artist. She doesn't want it. She doesn't. You can say a lot of things about Caitlin Clark if you want to. You can say she didn't win a championship. Who gives a shit? She's playing with a bunch of 1-star, 2-star players for the most part. And UConn has got 10, 11 McDonald's All-Americans. It's a big difference in the talent gap. By saying what he said in this, and by how he defended Caitlin Clark, in the Final Four. He's just told you that he knows that Caitlin Clark is better than Paige Bueckers, and it's realistically not even close. You've never seen Caitlin Clark shy away from the shot. You've never seen Caitlin Clark not want the ball. You've never seen her get rid of the ball in a double and not want it right the hell back. You don't see that. She's always wanting the ball. She's always searching the ball. She's always looking for the play. She wants to be the one that makes that play. Paige Bueckers is not. And that's why every time people are saying stuff like she's generational or she's transcendent or she's a creator or she's a facilitator. Facilitators get assists. Paige Bueckers averages 4.5, 5 assists a game. Let's just refresh our memory here. Paige Bueckers right now, this season alone is averaging 4.4 assists a game. Career, 4.5 assists. Her best year with assists was her freshman season at 5.8. Ever since then, 3.9, 3.8, and now 4.4. She is not a facilitator. She does not get other people involved. She does not make people around her better. She's just a player on the floor. She's just a player on the floor. Sure, she's an efficient player. Sure, she shoots at a 53% clip. Good for her. Yeah, she's an efficient. She's not taking the shots from downtown. She's taking a lot more twos, shorter shots. She only averages under 5 threes per game. Taking. Like, what are we talking about here? It is. Look at right now for the fact that right now, Paige Bueckers' teammate on that team was drafted in the first round with the 6th pick, Aaliyah Edwards. Aaliyah Edwards was on her team last year and was drafted with the 6th pick. Nika Mule. Wasn't she also drafted? The one that was guarding Caitlin Clark all over the floor? She was drafted. I'm pretty sure of that. Let me verify. I will just verify that for you. She was drafted in the 2nd round. She was the 14th overall pick. Where was Kate Martin drafted? Kate Martin didn't even expect to be drafted, if we all recall. I mean, let's be real. She was there to support Caitlin Clark. She got drafted 18th. So the best draft pick on the team with Caitlin was drafted 18th. Paige had 2 players drafted ahead of Kate Martin. Yeah. And let's look at some other stuff. If you believe that Caitlin, if Paige is really better, why would you double team and trap and blitz Caitlin Clark in that national semifinal? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Nika Mule was the Big East Defensive Player of the Year. And she did a great job guarding her. Why do you need all these players to guard her? Your one player should have been more than enough. Your Defensive Player of the Year should have been more than enough. And for those of you who are, think that this is frustration because he's desperate and he wants Paige to be better and, needs Paige to be better than Caitlin Clark, realistically, all he has to do is admit that she's not. Because we all know it. We all know it. You know what credibility is? Credibility is admitting when you're wrong. Your credibility is shot when you won't admit you're wrong. You don't need Paige to be better than Caitlin. You just need Paige to be Paige Bueckers to be Paige Bueckers. Be the best player that she can be. But she's not going to be who she's not. And what she's not is someone who wants the big moment. She doesn't want the big moment. Allow me to also point this out to you. In the national semifinal, this game was 66-59. Paige Bueckers' last bucket came with 4:11 to go in that game. Then Aaliyah Edwards turned the ball over. KK Arnold hit a shot. UConn took a timeout. Aaliyah Edwards hit a shot. Paige Bueckers missed a jumper that would have made it 70-68 at 1:11. Then she turned the ball over. Paige Bueckers did with 1:07 left. Then Nika Mule hit a 3 to make it 70-69. Iowa turns the ball over with 9 seconds. Hannah Stuelke. UConn takes a timeout. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You're the star, right? You're the star. I'm not going to sit here and say that. No, I'm going to keep it real. Stars don't need a screen to take the game winner. Elite players don't need a screen to take the game winner. Remember that? I'm gonna remind you this. Now I want to point out to you. This is the last play for UConn in this game. This is the play in which Aaliyah Edwards gets called for an offensive foul. She's inbounding the ball up here in the top right. It's being inbounded directly to, I believe that's Nika Mule. I'll sit here and I'll tell you this. This is Caitlin Clark guarding Nika Mule. That's Gabby Marshall on Paige Bueckers. You got Hannah Stuelke. I think that's Kay Martin. That looks like Kay Martin. I think that's all Falter. Now I'm gonna point out this to you. Why is Paige Bueckers all the way down here on the bottom of on the top of the screen, top left corner? You are the dog, right? You are the dog. You are the one, right? Geno, she is the one, right? You got a 1-point game. Both teams have a foul to give. And you gave the ball on the inbounds to Nika Mule. Now, I don't know how Iowa would have defended this had Paige Bueckers been there, because Caitlin Clark basically allowed her to get the ball in the inbound play. She said, here you go, inbound the ball. I know you're not taking that shot. I know this. I know that Nika Mule is not taking this shot. But why would you draw up something that doesn't allow Paige Bueckers to have the ball top of the key under that Final Four sign, right in the middle of the court? Instead, you ran this.
Now it's Connecticut down.
Just let her inbound the damn ball. She's gonna pass it right into Paige Bueckers on the top left.
A trip to the title game.
All right. I hated this. I wanted Iowa to win, but I hated this play. This was as bad a play, in my opinion, as they could have run. Because off the bat, if I'm Paige Bueckers, I'm immediately left, boom, dribble. Look, the paint's wide open. Let's rewind this. Catch the ball. To give you an example, defender's on you. She's on your hip. You catch the ball and you go boom. All right? That's what you're doing. She's on your hip. You catch that ball and go boom, right to the rim. There's nobody there. Instead, they run a screen roll.
A trip to the title game on the line.
In fact,
Mule, the drop.
She gave the ball back to Nika Mule, which I think is like, let's rewind this again. This is crazy to me. Like,
a trip to the title game on the
gave it right back to her, and Caitlin Clark played it perfectly. She played under it. Nika Mule's not shooting a three, not there. Caitlin played this perfectly, and then Paige Bueckers pops out to the 3-point line, and they run a screen for Nika Mule with Aaliyah Edwards.
line. Mule, the drive. 5 seconds left. Looking for Bueckers and an offensive foul.
Like, that play was DOA. That play was DOA. You're telling me that freaking Paige Bueckers can't break down Gabby Marshall? I don't care how good Gabby Marshall is defensively. Are you telling me, Geno, you don't believe that your elite superstar women's basketball player can't take the ball at the top of the key from an inbound and break down the defensive player I don't give a shit who the defensive player would have been. Can't break her down and get whatever the hell she wants? Foul to give, sure. You tell me she can't get whatever the hell she wants? Watch this play again.
One, a trip to the title game on the line. Mule, the drive, 5 seconds left.
And that's a clear offensive foul, by the way. And what happens right here? Hannah Stolke's there. Were they going to
Looking for
dish it back
Bueckers and
down
the
to
offensive
freaking
foul.
Aaliyah
An
Edwards? Is that
offensive
really what they
foul
were
on
going to run?
Edwards.
Were they going to run a play for anyone but the best player? I'll tell you what. Paige Bueckers' hesitancy might be Geno Auriemma's fault. He might have to own that. He might just have to own that the reason that she is afraid of the moment and afraid of the big shot is because of him.
With
He sits
3.9
here
to
and
go.
cries and boo-hoos the fool. I mean, come on. This man called a play that did not go to his star. You sitting here and you're telling me with a straight face, she doesn't want it? Yeah, she doesn't want it. I know she doesn't want it. I think she doesn't want it because one, her confidence is not very high. And I think a lot of the reason that her confidence isn't very high is because of you, my friend. You destroyed the confidence of your best player, or used to be your best player. You, in fact, have created a narrative and an environment that has made it difficult for her because you keep talking about Caitlin Clark. Because you have talked about Caitlin Clark in a negative way for so very long. You have. We have video. We've done videos on you. You have dissed and disrespected Caitlin Clark, and you in turn have made it difficult for your best player, or used to be your best, because Sarah Strong is your best player now, but you were running a play for Aaliyah Edwards in the national semifinals. Iowa played that all perfectly, I thought. Maybe they thought they were going to dump into Aaliyah Edwards, and who the hell knows? But if you're going to, this is the same criticism. Look, this is the same criticism that LeBron James takes because he very often will pass up the shot. But this isn't even about Paige Bueckers passing up the shot in this situation. She never had a chance to take the shot. You ran a play away from her. You ran a play. First off, it should have been automatic if that's what you're running, that she catches that ball and she immediately goes to the left and turns left and goes right to the basket. Has that option. She didn't have that option. Or you just inbound the ball to her and you let her break this shit down from the top of the key and say, you know what? You go win us this game. You're going to win us this game. Whatever decision you make is going to win or lose this game. Whether you take the shot and you make it, we win. If you take the shot and you miss it, we lose. Or you dribble drive, they double team you, dump it off. That person catches the ball, they make it, we win. You miss it, we lose. That's it. But you do not put the ball in the hands of somebody else and rely on a fucking screen. On a screen? Man, people like to do this to your ass. Top of the key, lock, lock and load. Swoop. Lock, drive. Lock. I mean, that's what stars can do. That's what elite guards do. They break you down. They don't need a screen. That's what makes Unrivaled tough to watch, is because we're watching just how many of them cannot break anyone down without a screen. But Paige is proclaimed almighty. She's not. And Geno just told you. Geno just told you she is not almighty. He just told you. I mean, how else can you say it? Talk shit about Caitlin Clark last season. Said Paige was the best player in college, even though Caitlin Clark went back-to-back National Players of the Year, led the country in points and assists for 3 straight seasons. She's led the country in scoring her whole career. I mean, he told you. He told you. He got the generic version. He got the generic. Caitlin Clark is Viagra. Paige Bueckers is Sildenafil. I mean, how else you got the generic version? You don't have the real one. You got the generic level. We all know that generic is supposed to be the same, but really, really, really just isn't exactly the same. There's always something a little bit different. Think about the fact they have not released the numbers from the USC Iowa game from Sunday, still to this day, almost a week later. I read that it was 2.5 million. Someone posted that up. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's true because I can't verify it. So I haven't done any type of story on it or I'm a video on it because I haven't been able to verify it. But if that is true, Caitlin Clark outdrew Paige Bueckers while sitting on the sideline. Paige Bueckers played USC and did 2.2, 2.3 after an NFL game that drew 40 million people. And Caitlin Clark shows up and watches the game from the sideline. And if that 2.5 is true, it wouldn't shock me if that was true. It might be the reason they have not released it is because they don't want to embarrass college women's basketball by saying that a woman who's not even playing can outdraw everybody in college basketball by just showing up. Just show up. Retire my jersey day. If that is the case, I mean, let me check one last time because I have not seen it. I mean, I still get the USC. Whenever I put USC Iowa, it just still shows last year's game against South Carolina. I cannot find it. I cannot find it. Caitlin Clark, jersey. See, like you put jersey retirement ratings, you still are not getting television ratings. I don't understand why why we cannot see this. It's weird. It's one of those weird things where they don't want to tell us what's really going on. This is the most recent one day ago. What they have, I mean, yeah, we still don't know. I still don't know. I haven't confirmed it. I would love for someone to confirm it. If someone knows and has something that I don't have, a Nielsen's rating or something, let me know. But yeah, Geno Auriemma has just put out there to the world that Caitlin Clark is just flat better than Paige Bueckers. Something we all knew that he's finally had to accept because his girl does not want the moment. She's the generic version. That's all I got, man. You let me know what you think in the comments because, yeah, you played a boxing one on Caitlin Clark in the national semifinals, and you had people trapping her all over the floor. You guarded her 94 feet without the ball. No one else gets that type of coverage. Nobody. I'm just reading some of the notes I have on here before I go. I will tell you this. I said it before. If Geno Auriemma cannot win the national championship with 11 McDonald's All-Americans this season, which he's not going to because he doesn't develop players anymore, he should retire. Like, this is enough. This is enough. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have not done so, please be sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Let me know what you think. I appreciate y'all. This is Rudy's Rant. We talk facts over feelings. Come on now.